asking, my husband wants a dog, but I heard you say that we should not have a dog. Why is that? It's not necessarily you shouldn't have a dog, it's that you should take certain things into consideration. First and foremost, when it comes to dogs, they're good animals. Their name dog in Hebrew is kelev. Kelev, it comes kulo lev. It's the essence of a dog is that it's all heart, kulo lev. So dogs are very good animals as far as they're helpers of human beings. But that doesn't make everything good. On a spiritual end, the dogs are considered an impure animal, the most impure of all animals, because they're not they're very how do you call it, abrupt or really unashamed with their procreation, by themselves or otherwise. So they're considered impure animals, and therefore there's a certain level of tum'ah, of impurity, that the household gets as a result. So that's one. Two, when it comes to halacha, if a person is going to live a Jewish life, they need to know that first, it's a big responsibility. And the responsibility is that if you're going to eat, you have to feed the animal first. You have to feed the dog first. Because if you don't, if you eat before your dog does, it's a Torah, it's a biblical violation of Tsar Ba'al Chaim, of torturing animals. Because the animal can't feed itself. So you have to take this into account. There's certain halachas, certain laws you need to learn in order to have a dog. Second thing is, you're not allowed to hold the dog or pet the dog on Shabbat, because the dog is considered muktzeh. Any pet, the dog or a cat or a cow, they're all considered muktzeh. So you're not allowed to pet them. So which means that walking the dog on Shabbat is a little bit difficult. So unless you have a big backyard and you can just release the dog, that's the best idea. You can just let them out, they relieve themselves and then come back. That's perfectly fine. But you can't walk them like you would during the week. If you're going to walk them during the Shabbat, you can't touch the animal. You have to have a short leash so the leash doesn't hang. So there's a lot of halachic things a person needs to know in order to have a dog. Most people, already, if they're new to Judaism, they are already having a tough time learning the laws of Shabbat alone, needless to say, the laws of dogs on Shabbat. So that's another reason. We don't need more sins. Last thing I would say also is that dogs are a responsibility. It's like having another person in your house. You have to feed it. You have to take care of its medical issues. You have to make sure that you're giving the dog food that is kosher for Passover during Pesach. It's, again, I'm assuming all of these things are for Jews. Non-Jews have an easier time with dogs because they don't have a lot of the laws that I'm talking about. But for Jews, you have to know your dog food has to be kosher for Pesach. So you can't feed your dog food, dog food that's from, Walmart or something on Pesach, because that's chametz. So if a person is not Jewish, then they don't have to worry about such a thing. If they're Jewish, they do have to worry about it, because it's a biblical sin. That why would anybody want a death penalty for having dog food? So these are certain things that most people don't necessarily think about. And also it's a responsibility to have a dog where if you want to take a trip somewhere, you have to be concerned about who's going to take care of the dog. If you travel, if you have a job that requires you to be out of the house a lot and so on, it's not exactly ideal situation for a dog because the dog needs company usually. Needs company. So if you're going to travel and so on, and every time have that dog sitting in some kennel for a week, that's torture. It's better not to have the dog. If you're going to have somebody take care of the dog and make sure that person is responsible, then it's fine. I used to have a dog. I had a dog for 16 years. His name is Bully. He's even in one of my videos, my Torah videos. I learned something from him, about tshuva, where, he was a really cute dog. It was a great dog. And, but he would shed. He would shed a lot. And after you would get off the carpet, it would look like the carpet should be thrown in the garbage. But then after you clean the carpet looks brand new. And it's in essence, I learned from there, that's like tshuva. When a person first starts doing tshuva, it looks like you have too many sins to fix. It looks like you're too dirty. But in reality, once a person starts taking tshuva seriously and starts learning Torah, they realize they can become completely clean. Just like the Gemara in Masechet Yoma, page 86, says that a person can turn all of their sins into mitzvot even, if their tshuva is high enough. So, that's one of the things I learned from my dog. So the point is that a person needs to take a lot more into consideration when it comes to owning a dog than just the fact that they're cute. And also, last but not least, it's a Torah violation to have a dangerous dog, unless that dangerous dog is not endangering anyone, meaning you have a protection dog that's away from everybody, that's protecting your land or someone, and no one can get hurt from it, that's fine. But if you have a dog that's dangerous, it's a Isur Torah. The Gemara says that such a person is a Rasha, that even causes people to have less Yirat Shamayim because of it. It's because a dog that's a dangerous dog, a dog that barks really loud, can make a pregnant woman have a miscarriage. And there's a Gemara story about it where one of the people had a dog that would bark a lot. And some woman that was pregnant passed by in the market, and the dog barked at her. And the woman jumped. And the man says, don't worry about it. Nothing's going to happen to you. I removed all of his teeth. And the woman says to him, I don't need you I don't need your words, and I don't need your favors, because I just lost a baby. Meaning that she had a miscarriage because his dog barked at her. So that person gets a sin. That person gets a sin for having such a dog. And the Torah says that it's very, very dangerous to have, spiritually dangerous to have a dog that's dangerous. And many times, those are the dogs people want. And it's a big responsibility. If a person knows how to handle a dog, both from a halachic perspective as well as a moral perspective, then they can have a dog. It's perfectly fine. But if they do not, it's better off not to have it. And also another halacha is we're not allowed to neuter them. Jews are not allowed to neuter animals. It's considered torture of the animal, which is a very common practice in the world today, especially in America. It's almost like unheard of not to neuter animals. But it's considered 100% a sin to do such a thing. Not allowed to neuter an animal. There's no permission to just torture the animal. Oh no, it makes them healthier. Okay, we'll cut your part off and let's see how healthy you become. It's complete nonsense. Not allowed to do such a thing. It's evil. And again, this is what people would want you to do. Why? Because they're going to tell you, listen, if you don't do it, then the animal could be more aggressive and blah, blah, blah. Okay, then don't have the animal. Simple. There's no obligation to have an animal. No obligation. So again, it's a lot to consider. A lot to consider. This is the reason why, despite having a very close relationship with my dog and liking dogs and thinking that dogs are great, we never got a new one after Bully died. I had him for 16 years, and it was a great dog. Was wonderful, wonderful animal. But the more I learned, the more I realized that it's a responsibility I did not want. Especially since we just had our first kid at the time, and it was very concerning constantly. If even though the dog would never even do anything. It was a great dog, but still, it's always in the back of your mind, because at the end of the day, as much as you like the dog, it's still an animal. It's still an animal, so. Person needs to take a lot into consideration, and if they took everything I just said and more into consideration and still think that they can have a dog, bechavod, go have a dog. But if most people are usually not going to have it because of all of the reasons that I just told you, or other reasons I haven't mentioned. In the religious world, not in a religious world, obviously, it's different world, different life.